Welcome everyone to Messages from Spirit. It must be Tuesday, and here we are. So as usual, want to start with a collective reading for us all. Times are such that I think more guidance is better than less guidance at this point, right? So let's go ahead and dig right in. And then, of course, I have some email questions that's already come through. And then in the chat, you are so welcome to ask your questions. So I'll be taking those questions live as well. Yeah, chime in. Let me know who's here and maybe a word to describe how you're feeling right now. How are you feeling? We need to get back into this. I just wrote a blog post and getting my podcast back going on a lot of this stuff that's going on in the world right now. So take a listen, go to my website. You'll see, and hopefully it's helpful information for you. But I just recorded one today right before I got on about George Orwell's 1984 and how it's playing out right now and the kind of the deeper meanings behind it. So I used to be an English teacher, and it's just not all about Big Brother and surveillance. It's about mind control and psychological manipulation and not trusting what you see with your own eyes, all that good stuff. So yeah, it's interesting, the evolution of my role as a spiritual teacher. I'm changing. I think we're all changing, hopefully. And the role of spiritual teacher for me, I'm very much feeling like the gloves are coming off, and that politeness that has been in my background personally is being, being challenged. Yeah. I'm still always going to be kind and polite and courteous and all that good stuff. But as far as only speaking to the spiritual tenets that, are all about love and kindness and compassion and all of that, it's like, there's other ones too. We need to protect ourselves. We need to discern. We need to think for ourselves. We need to increase our intuitions. There's a lot going on right now. And I personally really feel that the United States is in the midst of probably its biggest spiritual crisis, at least in my lifetime. I would imagine in my father's lifetime, it was probably pretty bad too, obviously, with World War II and all that. But take a breath. Okay. It's just gotten bananas. And I think the saddest part for me in watching all of this unfold from my new home in Mexico for now until I leave in March, and going, I think, probably to Guatemala. We'll see. I kind of want to meander down South America and go to Colombia and Ecuador. Anyway, just watching all of this unfold is in the United States. I do pay attention. I am a citizen. It still matters. And I still am a part of the solution, but I feel that it is very necessary for me to do it from a distance so that I can regulate my own central nervous system, and protect my peace, which is one of the spiritual tenets that I think is being really called out lately to, reevaluate our values and what's important to us, and then design a life that aligns with your truth. And so leaving the United States did that for me, because I just don't align with the values or what's going down there. So I know that Anyway, that's a whole nother topic, I want to focus on doing the readings, seeing what messages are coming through from spirit. I think because I just recorded my podcast episode, that it's still fresh in my head. So let me clear, reset, backspace, and connect with spirit, connect with the higher wisdom, connect with the truth, connect with the benevolence that always persists in our kind, benevolent universe. You know, I really do believe that there's just one flow of energy happening in the universe, you know, where survival and plenitude, abundance, like every creature on this planet has what it needs to survive, including us. And there's a flow, a stream of well-being that is always growing the food, always providing the resources, all of that. It's, you know, it's not nature, it's man that creates the issues on the planet for sure. But I also always know that she'll always win. Mother Nature will always win. And we are visitors and guests here. We're not very good ones, I might add. Well, I guess we should speak for ourselves, but some are better than others. Okay, so let's do a collective reading for us today. Yeah, again, feel free to chime in and share maybe just one word, one phrase about how you are feeling and what's going on in your world. And then, of course, you can ask those questions. So let's go ahead and start with a couple of the Wisdom of the Oracles. The good old what's now, what's next spread. How appropriate. Okay, so interesting. You know, I just said it. Take a breath. Let's breathe. So breathing and higher power. So I really feel that this message for us is about trusting the universe, trusting the higher power, trusting the bigger picture. I know that I'm guilty of getting caught in the minutia of things because they are very triggering and very real. However, my higher self knows and understands that there is a bigger story at play. There is a bigger evolution happening. And again, getting into that benevolent flow of the universe, it's good, regardless of where it ends up. Even if that means destruction of all of us, it means that it can rebuild better next time, you know? So I really trust that. I know that spirit will always win. The earth is steady. I mean, think root chakra, it provides all of our sustenance. It's good stuff. So this is a nice reminder for us to maybe pull out of the minutia, look at the bigger picture, breathe, take care of ourselves, really do our meditations, do our spiritual self-care, and trust in that higher power, because the higher power knows best. And it's, you know, it's really the thing that is in control of the whole show, you know, on the much, much bigger playing field. Okay, let's see what the tarot message is. Okay. Again, this is the collective for all of us. Okay. So we have first the Sun, which is a very positive card. It reminds us to get into our childlike minds where we know the universe has our back, the sun is shining on us. We do have everything we need. The solar energy, all of that is in charge. And get into our creativity, get into our playfulness, get into our knowing that this is unlimited. There's unlimited potential here, and opportunities. And this is yet a blip, but there's, again, something bigger happening. And then we have the death card, and the death card talks about death. So some things are dying, clearly, right? So I think a lot of our systems are dying, a lot of the old stuff is dying, and to, let it. Just let it all go, let it all happen. Get yourself in a safe place first so you can do what is important to you and your family, your values, your ideals. But letting the narrative play out, letting things go to the wayside, I think is a big part of this whole transition that we're in. And then, yay, the Wheel of Fortune. So these are all major arcana cards. Ooh. So this is all some big stuff going on in the world right now. And the collective message for us, it really does speak about faith to me, and trusting in the higher power. So the Wheel of Fortune is that change is inevitable. Change is happening. We're in the midst of it. And when I see the Wheel of Fortune, it not only reiterates just change, but positive change. It's like, okay, we've learned the lessons from the past. Here are our spirit guides in the corners reading their books, right? So there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of information, a lot of data that we as a collective have received and collected ourselves, so that when we can make choices moving forward for ourselves, right? And knowing that all of this is leading to somewhere. Nothing is for naught. And so I really feel that that's the bigger message here for us, that there's something brewing here for all of us and for all of our evolution, no matter what side of the fence, no matter what side of the world, no matter what your belief system is, that all of this is shaking out to better humanity, right? And so I'm down. I'm all for it. Okay, let me get into the questions that were sent to me via email prior. So if you're on my list, of course, I send out an email the day before on Mondays, and then I ask, send me your questions. Let's get ready to rumble for Tuesday. So if you're not on that list, you can go to my website and download a printable or do something like that, one of the freebies, and that'll put you on the list. Okay, let me open up the email. All those Microsoft apps look the same without my glasses on. Okay, yes, I am moving into the crone stage of my life. I like it, not gonna lie. Feels more free. Okay, so I have a question from Kristen, and she says, yay, so glad this is happening tomorrow. My question for Spirit is, what guidance do you have for me in meeting with my Buddhist mentor tonight? Oh, cool. Okay. All right, Kristen, let's get into that. What guidance? Okay. For the meeting. Okay, I think I'll do 2 for now on the tarot. And what guidance? Got higher power again. And I shuffled. Okay, so we have both swords for you. We have the King of Swords and then the Page of Swords. So the messages that I get here are, there's going to be some good conversations, right? A lot of clarity. So ask your questions bring that beginner's mind, seek to understand. Yeah, so I'm feeling that both of these can be you. One can be your mentor, and one can be you. But I feel like it's all of the above, right? It's all intertwined. So I do see that there will be some really positive, clear, definitive discussions, on the topic of Buddhism, and again, having that beginner's mind, and really receiving, asking good questions, all of that. So I don't think that there's anything that you need to do except be yourself, because I already know that you're very inquisitive. And it's, the swords are all about crown chakra energy and intellect, communication, just having this clear level of communication. I think that this is just going to flow really nicely. And then the higher power from the wisdom of the oracle, just, is you will be in having conversations and a meeting with your higher powers in the mix. I mean, where is God not, right? Where is the higher power not? But in this particular conversation, that's gonna be the direct topic, and how to improve your connection with it, and how to use your techniques and the things that you've learned through Buddhism to connect even more deeply. So yay, it feels like it's going to be a very productive meeting, a very clear and communicative one, intellectual as always, I see with you. Yeah, so enjoy, have fun, don't take notes, just pay attention. Yeah. Okay, I hope that answered your question. And let's get to the next one. Okay, Cheryl asks, I would like to ask Spirit if I should consider foot surgery. It's pretty invasive and I'm not sure what to do. Thanks so much. Okay, so considering foot surgery, pretty invasive. Not sure. Okay, Spirit. So let's see what kind of guidance you have for Cheryl in making that decision for herself. Because they typically answer the question beneath the question, right? So let's see what else is in there. Okay. And let me shuffle this one a little bit better. Okay, two of them came out. They're opposite answers. Okay, and these are also opposite answers, so I'm trying to tie in. First, let's do the tarot first we have the Ace of Cups. So clearly you're wanting healing, right? And the universe is handing you the healing and saying, it's time. Like, we hear that you want to heal your foot. And so we're on it, basically. And then the Five of Pentacles is the next card. So see how I was saying these are in opposition. The other two are too. So clearly there's some method behind the madness. So tuning into the message is that, yes, healing is yours and it's in the works. However, maybe this current doctor or surgical procedure that you're looking at might not be it, right? So the Five of Pentacles is, it's a lower vibration, it's lack. So I really feel that you're not real clear on the procedure and the implications, the residual effects, all those things. So what I'm hearing is that, a second opinion, more doctors, more information is necessary. So don't just go for the first one because it's got a pretty, and not a clear, it's a clear, don't do that. It's not a clear path to that particular surgery, right? So look at alternatives, look at, and just ask. So we can do that right now. We can just say, okay, so we're not clear on that particular procedure, but we know healing is in the works. So show me the appropriate healers, show me the right methods. And then now your job is to just be in receptivity mode and to let those messages come through for you so that you're not having to figure it out. You're not having to do a ton of research. For example, that the methods, the procedures, the things that work for you will show up. And when they do, you'll be clear and it'll be like, oh, okay, that one sounds way better. That sounds way less invasive. I'll be off my feet in less time, et cetera, et cetera. So this one is, I'm getting a big no, but move forward, in pursuit of healing. So this isn't the final answer. Okay. There's more for you. And I get the go the distance. So this is reminding me of, remember back in the day when we used to have to make long distance phone calls. So you're picking up the local call and it's not the right message. It's not the right one. And so this is about going the distance and looking at other options, and then go to C talks about going with the flow. So this is you getting into the flow of, yes, healing is mine, healing is happening, but it doesn't necessarily have to come in this form. In fact, that's probably not the right form for me. And so I'm going to just keep looking and expecting other results, other helpers, other information to come my way so that you have more to choose from. Okay. So right now it's a no. And go the distance. Keep looking, keep going. Okay, so Cheryl, I hope that helped. All right, so we have Lily. Hello, Lily. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and answer your question, then I'll jump back into the emails, all right? So Lily says, I was wondering for some help with my relationship with my sister Mia and a cousin Tiffany. Do you feel anything around them? Want to see this clear as possible, of course. Okay, so let me do, what I like to do with people is pull a card or two for each of them, keep it separated and see and feel and go into the energy that is individually there between the two of you one-on-one. If that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Okay, so first, Sister Mia. Brenna is here. Hey, everyone. Hey, thanks for being here. Okay, so first one, Mia. So I'm going to do two cards, Mia and Tiffany. Okay. So we have, there's Mia, Tiffany. And then I'm going to get more information in the same way. Okay. There's Mia and Tiffany. Okay, so for your sister, I have the Two of Cups and the Observer. So let's break this down and ask Spirit for even more. So clearly with your sister, Mia, you guys are definite soulmates, right? And so I see soulmates very, very differently than the Hollywood version of it. I see soulmates as people who come into our lives to teach us about love. And some stay for a minute and some stay for a lifetime, right? And everything in between. And so I think it's important for us not to get those big, heavy expectations about soulmates and to just let the lessons play out. So you definitely are in a soul contract with her. And I feel that there's a reckoning that's going to happen. Like here you guys are, you love each other. That's clear. Something's maybe in the mix that is keeping you from that. And what the other message is to be the observer of that. Like there's something happening that is creating the rift or whatever distance you're feeling is what I'm picking up. And for you to observe it. So instead of taking it personally or, really deeply, which is we're human, and of course we're going to do that, and of course we're going to do that with people who are really close to us, right? But the bigger message here is to step back and to observe this more, that there's something else happening here where compassion is required, a sense of just observation and noticing that this isn't directly having to do with you, that there's something else going on here. So if we had a lot longer and we had a personal reading, I would go into what that is, but I just don't have the time to do that here, okay? If you want to, you can book a session with me though, and we can go as deep as you'd like. So then the relationship with Tiffany. Okay, with Tiffany, this is your cousin. Get it? So all of the cards are really positive. I get with Tiffany, she is charging maybe away. She's going somewhere, right? And so there's a lot of energy. So I feel that Tiffany just has a lot of energy, momentum going in a certain direction. And maybe you're not on board with that. Maybe you don't understand it. Maybe you are taking that personally as well. I'm not really sure. But there's a energy with her where she is guarding her happiness and charging toward it in her way. And so not everybody's going to define happiness or charge towards their happiness in ways that we understand. So again, I feel that this is a situation for you to step back and to observe and to look at the bigger picture. Take yourself out of the equation for a minute, right? And ask what's happening here. Like if you were watching a movie, right? That's a great way of doing this. So we can put the people that we love up on a TV screen and we can watch their movie that really doesn't have anything to do with us for now. I mean, we can do that. We can take ourselves out of the equation and then we can see what is playing in their mind and in their heart and in their agenda. And then that will give us a better understanding of what they're doing, why they're doing it. And then we can see how, okay, I have a choice here. I can continue to see it the way that I have seen it, or take it personally, or be hurt by it, or whatever that is that you're experiencing with them. Or you can just know that they're experiencing their own changes and to step back and to ask those bigger questions, right? I think we're kind of all being asked to do that. So anyway, I hope that helped. It's probably not as clear as you would like, but that's where I do my deeper work. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's do another email and then I'll pop back into Brenna. Okay, so we have Olivia. So Olivia says, hey, Charlene, if there's any message from Spirit that I need to hear, I would be most grateful to hear it from you. Okay. And then she gives me some background information about her job, and how she's riding a roller coaster of the news. And okay, so I don't want to divulge all your personal information, but let's go ahead and take that into account and tap into the messages from Spirit. And I like that you said that you need to hear. Interesting. Okay, what does Olivia need to hear? So in other words, what that tells me is that something maybe that you're not paying attention to, right? So let's see. What does Olivia need to hear? Okay. And let's pull here. Okay, so for you, you get another sun card. And so this is about your, I know, Olivia, I know everybody on my email list. So at least you chime into this, our show on Tuesdays. So the sun card is talking about keep shining your light. I know that you are a very optimistic and upbeat person. And yeah, the world feels like it's just pow, 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 right? It just doesn't want to hear it, doesn't want to see it, And I feel that. I definitely feel that. So your message is that you're here to bring a light. You are here to shine your light and to continue to shine that light. And regardless of how people receive it around you, it helps. So a person may be about it, but on the inside and spiritually and emotionally, it's helping them process their stuff. It's helping them feel safe in the moment, even though maybe they don't feel safe and they're reacting and responding to other things going on around them, right? So this is just a reminder. I know you're human and I don't want to put all the responsibility of everybody's happiness on you, because that's not what this is about. But this is about really honoring your own joy and protecting your own joy and loving that part of you and taking really good care of you at the end of the day, and continuing to bring the love and to bring the light. Don't let the world damper your light or put it out in any kind of way. And I know that this has been a big part of your story, and it just feels like it's a continuation, of doing the same. Continue to bring the light. You never know, ever know the ripple effect of that, and bringing that solar plexus energy and shining your care, your love, your compassion, your strength, your vibrancy in the world. In fact, it gives people permission to do the same. And I think right now it's just even more challenging because people are feeling more and more powerless, at least, in the United States. Don't see that in Mexico. Everybody's cool. So there's big lessons to be learned about geography and all this other stuff I won't get into. But yes, continue to shine your light. In doing so, just remember to put you first and to take good care of that little precious girl that is in there, and love on her. And know, again, kind of like the last reading, that when people are acting out, a lot of it really has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with us. It's their stuff. And so we can develop a kind of non-reaction to it, even though it does feel personal, and a lot of time it is pointed towards you. That is because, and I learned this as a mother and I learned it as a teacher, that the people who are acting out in your face are doing so because they feel safe. I know that's a shitty thing, but it's for real. Otherwise, they don't. They would be hiding so there's a kind of a backhanded compliment that this stuff happens. I know it's weird. So it's important for us to fortify ourselves and to stay in our light and to just continue to practice that empath self-care and be that observer, not take it personally, right? The second one is the Two of Pentacles. And for this Olivia, it feels like, okay, you're doing this dance, you're doing this job, you're doing this life. It's up, it's down, it's all around, la la la. But you've got it going. You have a rhythm with it. It's all okay. It's like it's manageable. It's not forever though. And so this isn't going to last forever. In the meantime, just continue to be in that flow and know that everything changes. The Wheel of Fortune is real. Everything changes. There's the ocean in the background that reminds us of that this is a cycle, and you will cycle through this and out of it. And we should probably do a reading in the future to talk more about what that looks like for you as far as your work goes and any other place. And so then the wisdom of the oracle for you is mending. And there's something in here that is reminding you that, people are precious, even though they do act out and there's tensions between us. There's some place in your life where there's somebody in particular, is what I'm feeling, that is more close to your heart, and that some healing and mending needs to happen. I know that there's people who are this close to us, and then there's people who are out there that you work with that, that's fine. We could just continue to observe them and love them from a distance. But there's somebody in your inner circle that does require some amends or healing or something. And what I am hearing is that there's a judgment happening. Well, you're judging them a little too harshly, right? I'm just going to say it. And so let's look at that and then make the appropriate amends. And when we do that, when we make amends with others, it heals us. So it's a double whammy, and it's bonus points, for everybody. Everybody wins when we do healing work, and making amends is a part of that. Okay. Hope that helped. Okay, so Brenna asks, may I have a reading about my relationship with my sister Tara? And then we have Tassine. And we have a couple. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, that's so awesome. Yeah, guys, subscribe. I'm here every Tuesday. Come and get a reading. And then if you like what you have to hear and it helps, you can always make a donation at my Buy Me a Coffee, and that's in the description as well. And then if you want a deeper reading, you can book it on my website. That's what I do for a living, and I am happy to assist, and we do go deep. Okay, so let me do Brenna. May I have a reading about my relationship with my sister Tara? Yes, of course. Okay, so what I'm going to do with you, Brenna. Okay, there's this one little technique that I do where before I pull cards, just intuitively, you can see this little screen in front of you, and I like to have like two windows basically, and I put the person who's asking a question on one side and the person that they're asking a question about on the other. And then you can watch and see how they interact and what's going on, and see if messages come through that way. And then of course you can, also pull the cards. So, okay. So let me see with Tara. Okay, so Brenna, I sense a little bit of sadness with you and your relationship. with her. So let me look a little bit deeper and see what's happening. Okay, so it just feels like there's some distance there. All right, excuse me. Let's give it another one. Okay, so we get the 10 of Cups and then the Hierophant. Interesting. So what I'm getting here is like two different energies, right? So I can't tell which one is which because I don't know you very well and I haven't really, tapped into your energy like I would if I was doing a reading. However, I feel that one of you is all about like family, just got married, life is good. And then the other one is wah wah. It's like, how could you be happy right now? Don't you know what's going on in the world? And wanting to be more serious and maybe by the book, right? So there's a distance happening here. And I did hear, it's like, did somebody have a wedding or some sort of celebration and you didn't show up or somebody didn't show up? That's not cool, right? So yeah, I feel that there is a rift. And of course, this is again, a situation that could necessarily or that could be mended. So I would put some attention on that, pick up the phone, do something to close that gap if that's possible for you. And then I got the To Be Fair card, which is that Justice card. I feel like a lot of the similar energies are happening with the readings, and that always happens because like attracts like, right? But to be the observer and see that, maybe that wasn't a direct insult or a direct dig at me. What else is going on? That's where we would pick up the phone and ask, what else is going on? Why did that happen? Right. So I feel like there's just a little clarity that needs to happen as far as communication goes. So pick up the phone. Don't text, call. Okay. Let me look and see if there's another email and then I'll get back to the chat. And I have from Brenna. Okay, and she asks, I would love to ask Spirit, what do I need to know? Okay, I've been a little blocked in my heart chakra lately. I would love to be guided in the right direction. Thank you so much. Okay, what does Brenna need to know? I'm going to put a caveat on about her heart chakra. What's going on, Spirit? What does Brenna need to know about this? Again, we'll do 2. And 1. Okay. Okay, Brenna, so I'm getting the King of Cups and then the 9 of Swords and Imagine. So let's break this down. The overall message that I'm hearing and feeling is that you have a particular idea of love or relationship or a person and how maybe they should behave and the level that they should be. So I know that especially heart-centered people, the empaths, we kind of project that onto other people. And then when we find out that, they're not as kind, as compassionate as we thought they were, then we flip out, we just like, and we have a tendency to take things personally and whatnot. I really feel that this is a classic moment of that projection where you are expecting certain people to behave in a certain way and to be led by the heart, for example. And then when they don't rise to the occasion, it hurts. And then it just causes grief, stress, doubt, self-doubt. You start to question your own thinking. And so that's what this one's all about. And it's okay. It is okay. I think everybody does this. I think everybody walks around with a certain persona or a certain archetype, and we just expect other people to do the same. I remember when I was younger that I did that a lot. And so I consider myself to be a very honest person, for example. And so I trusted that what comes out of my mouth is the truth. And so, of course, whatever you're saying is the truth. Well, hello. You could imagine the lessons that I had to learn to correct that thinking that I had, or that projection that I had. It wasn't, I was off, way off. So I've had to learn how to step back and to observe and to watch people. And that's how I become a really good observer and a reader of energy, right? It was born out of necessity. And so I see this as kind of a similar situation where stepping back, becoming the observer, and then we can just take notice of what we see and go, oh, okay, well, not for me, swipe left or whatever that direction is. I don't even know. And then get into the more proactive and powerful place of your imagination. So this is where we become the powerful manifester, right? So we see that, that didn't quite work out the way I was hoping or expecting. And instead of dragging this out for too long, I mean, it's a process and we can experience it. We're human, of course, but we're not going to stay here. We're going to go here instead. It helps us feel better, and it helps us become a stronger point of attraction and a stronger manifester. So now we imagine, okay, what was it that I was putting on that person? What was I projecting? Oh, why? Oh, because that's what I want, and that's how I am. Okay, so let's imagine and let's manifest more aligned alliances and friendships, and people whose hearts do match. I got it. Okay. Part of my lesson is to not assume or project, but to observe. And Maya Angelou, one of her famous sayings is, before she passed, believe people when they tell you who they are, the first time. I still don't do it the first time. I give everybody a second chance because that's just how I'm wired. Because I don't want to jump to conclusions, and I don't want to be necessarily reactive, right? And so now I have a 2-strike you're out policy, and that's it. The first one is kind of a, now I'm side-eyeing you and I'm waiting. And then if I see it again, it's like, okay, I knew I should have trusted my intuition the first time, but whatever. I'm trying to give grace. So do whatever works for you. But this is one of those learning moments for sure. A teachable moment for the empath. Absolutely. Okay. Let's look and see what else is in here. So, okay, Brenna's here. Good. I just did your reading. I hope you got it. Oh, somebody says I'm gorgeous. Nice. Thank you. That's sweet. And then Sideka asks, and let's see how many questions I have. Just a couple more. Yeah, Dark, I will get to you in just a minute. Brenna says, thank you. So Sideka, I will focus on you right now. Is my husband doubting about my character right now? Is this the reason of our no contact? I love him so much. He misunderstood. I'm so sorry about that. I am so sorry. Okay, let's look into what his reason is for his silence, or the pulling back energy that I feel. Okay. Why is he pulling back? Okay. Okay. I want to ask directly, is he doubting your character? Is that part of the equation? Okay, so in the tarot, we have the Three of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. So honestly, you know, I'm not sensing what you wrote down, that he's doubting your character right now. What I'm sensing is a very typically male thing. I'm working, right? So here we have the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles to me is when we're doing our holy work, when we're really into a project, we're really into doing the thing that drives us, you know, the why we're here kind of feeling. And so there's a collaboration that's happening, or he's just really busy with his work. And then I get the Five of Wands, which explains that even more for me. So the Five of Wands is like there's just too many cooks in the kitchen, um, even competition, right? So what I'm feeling, that there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of energy flying around, and it feels like the work. And there needs to be some, like a project manager or something to settle it down, something to streamline it. It just feels a little chaotic right now, right? So I'm not, and then I'm not feeling what that doubting your character. I feel like it's going on with him, as almost everything that I've seen today. And then I got the never ending story. It's like, all right, so this never ending story, this repetitive pattern going on in your relationship, you know, that maybe when he gets busy, he pulls back and then you take it personally. And then it just grows into something that isn't real, right? It's imagined. And then, now we're going into the danger zones. We're creating monsters where there are none, things like that. I would love to do a longer reading with you on this, because I feel for you. But I feel that it's not personal. It's, you know, if you, I remember back in the 80s or 90s, whenever it was written, but yes, I'm old. So the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, that's what's popping in my head right now, right? And so it's like, and it's very archetypal and it seems old school, but it's still very relevant, right? So don't cancel me because I'm saying this, but it's very typical male behavior to compartmentalize. And it's like, if I'm focusing on work, I don't have anything left over here to it's like they're really bad um, multitaskers. Not all of you, but a lot of you. And so maybe some grace is needed for this, but I send you my love, and I hope you feel better about this, that I just feel like he's working on something else. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Dark says, hey, I'm Sagittarius woman. Has my partner lost interest in intimacy with me? Will he take action for a reunion? Yeah, okay, let's take your question. Okay, and Sagittarius woman. Has he lost interest? Let's get that question first. Okay, has he lost interest? Right. So for his energy, in asking that question, I get the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is what I call the wounded warrior. So there's like some past stuff that's affecting the present. Like, when is the other shoe going to drop? Is this, where's this going kind of thing? So there's a part of me that feels that you're correct in picking up what you're picking up, Well, everybody's correct. I mean, I'm not here to tell you who's correct and incorrect, but the energy feels just like that. It's like, let me reconsider. Let me think more about this. Do I want to go forward? I'm not sure about this anymore. So there's a lot of doubt happening, right? And as we are in relationships, this is a real crossroads that a lot of people come to. And so here's the deal. The energy that I'm feeling is that this is manufactured from the past. Like we all have our patterns, right? And so, like, say for instance, he's only been in all of his relationships have only lasted up until 3 years, and then they're gone. And so maybe he's at that 3-year mark going, okay, is this going to go to hell? Like the other ones did. So I'm feeling a reaction from a past pattern that is just affecting his reality right now. And he is questioning everything, so he's questioning everything. And then what's the other part of the question? Will he take action for the reunion? This is a definite yes. I'm feeling that with this worry card, or that fear card, the next for him comes this moment of clarity, that beginner's mind. It's like, okay, well, I don't know what I don't know yet, and so boom, he has this moment of clarity, epiphany, light bulb moment, where he calms down from this. And then, so yes, I see him saying the yes to the second part of your question. Okay. And then for the Wisdom of the Oracle, I pulled the Blessed card. So I'm feeling that perhaps your relationship and you are much more blessed than you imagine. So I would look this up, but this is a very auspicious, wonderful card to come up in any reading, right? Where, and to count your blessings. But knowing that, I think that this hesitation that's going on is a very natural part of a relationship that is continuing, right? It's like, oh, do I want this? What's going on? How do I feel? I got to check in with myself. Am I repeating patterns? All that stuff. And it feels like it's clarifying. So space. Everybody needs space to process and to feel what they feel and to get to that point of clarity, right? Okay. So, Brina says, thank you. That makes sense. You're very welcome. Okay. So your next question, Dark, I just want to answer it because I think I already did. You ask, he has an ex who's, I don't need to say her name, but do you think according to the cards, does he compare my appearance with that lady? I don't think it's appearance. I think it's vibe. It's feeling. It's like, well, that one went to shit. What's going to happen with this one? And that is I would say a thinking person's question. We want to question those things where we get a little nervous about stuff. It's like, well, my last relationships didn't work. And so then it just causes you to pause, and so that you can get clarity about how you feel about this person in this relationship, and to separate ourselves from the past pain and those patterns that have been running the show. So I see this as a necessary evolution for this person, so that he can get that clarity that he needs so he can move forward. So he's going to be learning about himself. So give him that space, give him that grace, right? And it has nothing to do with appearances. So just erase that from your mind, okay? It has everything to do with patterns and energy. Okay, it is straight up 3:00. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate your time, your energy. Take good care of yourself, take good care of each other. Check out my website. I have a new course coming up. It's going to be a live course starting, I think, February 3rd, where we're doing intuitive manifesting, which is absolutely necessary for intentional living during this time. And we're going to be integrating the tarot with the manifesting, which is something that we haven't done in the past. So check that out. Thank you again. If this helped and this resonated, please leave a donation for me. I would really greatly appreciate that. That every little bit helps with my traveling and my escape from the US so that I can be of service to you. So I'll see you back here next week. And if you have any questions, you can find me on my website. And then my email is Charlene at charlenemurphy.com. All right, everybody. Peace to you all. Much love and take good care. All right. I'll see you soon.